Hi, I'm Kenzie. Welcome back to my podcast. If you are just joining, welcome. Today we will be talking about my 12th Elmo's World VHS. It's called Elmo's World. Elmo Has Two, Hands, Ears, and Feet. It includes 3 episode segments, hands, ears, and feet. First, let's talk about hands. This first episode segment starts out with Elmo introducing himself, his world, and his goldfish Dorothy. He told the viewers to guess what he's thinking about today. He gave us a hint by wiggling his fingers. Then he opened door to reveal kids clapping their hands. That's what Elmo was thinking about, hands. Then we saw some examples of hands. After that, Dorothy had a question about hands. The question was, how do you wash your hands? Elmo went to ask Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle. At first, Mr. Noodle's brother washed his foot, his face, and his elbows. Then he washed his hands and used some soap. Except the bar of soap was slippery. At that point, Dorothy wanted to ask someone else. We saw 2 kids washing their hands. Then Elmo asked a baby. Afterwards, Elmo had a question for us. How many times does the bongo player's hands hit the bongo drums? The answer was 20 times. Elmo had to hand it to him. Then Mr. Noodle's brother was seen still trying to get the soap. Then Computer entered the scene. Elmo had an email. He clicked the mouse and it revealed Baby Bear and Telly. They used their hands to play a game called Patty Cake. After the email, Elmo wanted to know what does and doesn't have hands. Well, horses don't have hands. They have hooves. Pineapples don't have hands, but you use your hands to eat a pineapple. Clocks have hands. Clock hands. Monsters have hands. How else could Rosita play the guitar? Then Elmo mentioned his friend David uses his hands to make words. That's called sign language. The reason for that was because David was deaf. That meant he couldn't hear. One time, he, his mommy, and his friend Lauren went to the zoo, and Lauren learned the signs for the zoo animals. Then Elmo told the viewers to look at their hands, because they are amazing. He wanted to learn more about hands and what they can do. He did that by watching the Hands channel on TV. On the Hands channel, a lady named Mandy sang a song about what hands can do. Then Elmo showed us how he can make a plane and a shark with his hands. He wanted to learn even more about hands. He opened door to reveal a hand, just what Elmo needed. The hand talked about the parts of him, like the palm and the 5 fingers. Elmo counted the 5 fingers, including the thumb. The hand then mentioned that hands can do many things like scratching and feeling things. Then the hand waved to make the lights go out and made a shadow duck. Then he made the lights turn on again and snapped his fingers. The hand then mentioned that Elmo can do handstands with his hands. Speaking of which, Dorothy was imagining Elmo doing a handstand. Except, handstands are hard and take practice. Then Dorothy imagined Elmo playing a game with his hands, like handball, which also takes practice, and that's the truth. Finally, Dorothy imagined Elmo was using his hands to play the cymbals, which he loved doing. Elmo told the hand he was very handy and gave him 5. After the hand left the scene and watched his fingers, Elmo mentioned that he and Dorothy love hands. That's why Dorothy wanted to sing the hand song. So Elmo played the hand song on the piano to the tune of Jingle Bells. Then he and Dorothy said goodbye. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about ears. The second episode segment starts out with Elmo introducing himself, his world, and his goldfish Dorothy. He told the viewers to guess what he's thinking about today. He wore 3 pairs of ears. That's what Elmo was thinking about, ears. And then we saw some examples of ears. After that, Dorothy had a question about ears. The question was, how do you wiggle your ears? Elmo went to ask Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle. At first, Mr. Noodle's brother wiggled his nose, his toes, and his whole head. Then he got some big ears to wiggle. At that point, Dorothy wanted to ask someone else. We saw 2 kids wiggling their ears in different ways. Then Elmo asked a baby. Afterwards, Elmo wiggled his ears. Then Elmo heard something with his ears. It was a marching band. Then Computer entered the scene. Elmo had an email. He clicked the mouse and it revealed the elephant. He sang a song called Do Your Ears Hang Low? Great ear song. After the email, Elmo had a question for us. How many pieces of popcorn can you hear popping? The answer was too many because it was going too fast, but not too fast to eat. After eating a piece of popcorn, Elmo wanted to know what else you can hear with your ears. Well, you can hear a violin when someone is playing it. You can't hear a birthday cake, but you can hear party songs. You can't hear an ear of corn unless it's popcorn. You can't hear a cookie unless Cookie Monster is eating it. Afterwards, Elmo heard a squeaky sound. It was the sound of squeaky shoes. After the shoes left the scene, Elmo mentioned that not everyone can hear with their ears. His friend Emily can hear, his other friend Alex can't. You see, Emily went over to Alex's house to play. They played a card game, they ate bananas and drank milk, and they danced together. When they played cards, Alex would look at Emily's lips to see what she was saying. During their snack, Alex taught Emily the signs for banana and milk. When they danced, Emily listened to the music with her ears, and Alex felt the beat with his hands and feet. Cool, huh? Yep, Emily and Alex are very good friends. Then Elmo wanted to learn more about ears. He did that by watching the Ears channel on TV. Well, actually he couldn't at first because TV was all wavy and noisy. Elmo needed rabbit ears to act like the antennae for the TV. After fixing TV, Elmo could watch the Ears channel. On the Ears channel, we heard a story about a boy who loved his dog's ears. Then after TV and the bunny left the scene, Elmo wanted to learn even more about ears. A dog-eared book entered the scene. Elmo could talk to him. The book opened to reveal a bunny with long, droopy ears. Speaking of which, Dorothy was imagining Elmo as a bunny with long, droopy ears. Then she imagined Elmo as a cat with short, pointy ears. Finally, she imagined Elmo as a mouse with little round ears. Then Elmo mentioned that he and Dorothy love ears. That's why Dorothy wanted to sing the Ears song. So Elmo played the Ears song on the piano to the tune of Jingle Bells. Then he, Dorothy, the dog-eared book, the bunny, and the marching band said goodbye. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about feet. This third episode segment starts out with Elmo introducing himself, his world, and his goldfish Dorothy. He told the viewers to guess what he's thinking about today. He gave us a clue by showing us his feet. That's what Elmo was thinking about, feet. A feather entered the scene to tickle Elmo's feet. Then we saw some examples of feet. After that, Dorothy had a question about feet. The question was, how do you hop on one foot? Elmo went to ask Mr. Noodle. He waved to him. That gave him an idea. Elmo would wave to Mr. Noodle with his foot. It didn't work well, though. After Elmo got up, Mr. Noodle tickled him. Then Dorothy's question was asked to him. At first, Mr. Noodle danced and jumped with 2 feet. Then he got on one foot and eventually hopped. It took practice, though. Yep, Mr. Noodle definitely had happy feet. At that point, Dorothy wanted to ask someone else. We saw 3 kids hopping on one foot. Then Elmo asked a baby. Afterwards, Elmo was hopping on one foot too. Then he had a question for us. How many feet are hopping across the tightrope? The answer was 14 feet, plus 1 big elephant foot, which made 15 feet. What a feat! Then Elmo asked if drawer has feet. Nope, it had legs. That made Elmo wonder, what does and doesn't have feet? Well, caterpillars don't have feet. Dogs and cats don't have feet. They have paws. Birds have feet. Cute little bird feet. Big Bird has cute big bird feet. Then computer entered the scene. Elmo had an email. He clicked a mouse and it revealed Baby Bear and his baby sister Curly Bear. Curly Bear wanted to show Elmo her feet. Except she showed Elmo Baby Bear's ear and nose. Then Curly Bear eventually showed Elmo her feet. After the email, Elmo mentioned that his friend Angelica does something fun with her feet. She plays soccer once a week with her feet. Then Elmo wanted to learn more about feet. He did that by watching the Feet channel on TV. On the Feet channel, we heard a story about a girl who loved her feet. Then Elmo wanted to learn even more about feet. Door opened to reveal a big foot. Elmo could talk to him. The big foot talked about the parts of him like the toes and toenails, the arch, and the heel. For fun, the Bigfoot liked to dance. His favorite dancing was river dancing. Speaking of which, Dorothy was imagining Elmo river dancing. Then Elmo mentioned that he and Dorothy love feet. That's why Dorothy wanted to sing the Feet song. Elmo decided to play the piano with his feet. So the Bigfoot gave him a foot, up to the piano so Elmo could play. He played the Feet song with his feet on the piano to the tune of Jingle Bells. Then he, Dorothy, and the Bigfoot said goodbye. Elmo even waved goodbye with his foot. And that's how the episode ends. So yeah, that's Elmo's world. Elmo has 2, hands, ears, and feet. If you would like to play again, just go back to the beginning of this episode. See you next time. Bye!